Okay, so... I'm surprised by that ending, actually, a little bit. I thought we was going on a little bit further. I was actually thinking of cutting it after the first Great Wall mission, and then accidentally advanced it, and ended up here. So I'm kind of surprised at where the ending came. It felt a little faster than I was expecting. I was expecting Zhang Yong to have rushed off be off somewhere else, and then we'd fight him another time in another mission. Obviously, that's not the case. What to talk about? I liked the art style, and I liked the music. Very kind of fitting, it seemed. I mean, that's the problem in some ways with background music. It's hard to talk about because it's in the background, and if you notice it, it's not doing its job properly. Like graphical effects. If you notice the graphical effects, there's something wrong. Normally, is how that works. I kind of liked the story. It seemed like a kind of condensed version of Ezio's story. In starting out for revenge and then it growing in its own way, and then developing that into actually, what I see a better goal. As she said, a better goal. So kind of a good story. I assume the box will reappear in the next one, which is Assassin's Creed Chronicles India. That would be my guess. I think mechanically, I had a few issues in that there seemed to be, and I mentioned that I was going to mention this in the credits. There seemed a few points, and I did rewatch this in editing, where the vision cones of the various guards and enemies that were meant to be fighting, didn't cover everything they saw. Is they would pick me out when I was outside of the cone. Now there were some points where I said that had happened when it hadn't happened. I just hadn't noticed their cone of vision. I do realise that I'm not good at stealth. This is what this is telling me. I mean, it's not like I didn't know that from the other Assassin's Creed games. In some ways, I'm a little impatient and I rush in to do things more than maybe I should. So yeah, I think level design. So I quite like the running levels actually. I'm actually thinking, I'm not sure how easy it would be to get the bronze time, considering there are many segments in those where if you slow down, you get killed, if you go too slowly in a particular section. So it seemed a bit odd that you'd even have the bronze time, because there were quite a few times where I felt I just scraped through on survival and then ended up with a silver. Kind of to an extent on that last one I got a gold. I'm still not entirely sure how that is, but it must be that they give you a little leeway on the gold. Gold isn't the perfect time, but the perfect time is a little less than gold, which makes sense because you want to allow people to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I'm trying to think what else to say. People said that there are three. There are 9 numbers that you need to find, 3 from each of the games. I have 3, so it'll be interesting to see what's going on. Kind of like my frustration, I think, with the Assassin's Creed games at the moment, this and Unity, is that there isn't really a modern day storyline anymore. Because I kind of liked Desmond's story, in that there was actually a story going on in what was happening up until Assassin's Creed 3, and they didn't necessarily run with that. Well, 4 they did run with, and then Rogue also kind of developed it, in that you kind of are put in a position where you are invited to join the Templars, and you join the Templars at the end. I mean, admittedly at gunpoint, but that was kind of an interesting interesting twist, and it would be really nice to have maybe had that kind of, they could have built on that by having the main character we play is as the modern day story be a Templar, and the main character we're playing is an assassin in the kind of historical period would be an assassin. That could be an interesting spin on it, but they didn't go with that. And Unity's felt a bit. Trying to think of the right word. Non-existent, maybe is the right word. Yes, you whoever it was, and fairly sure it was Sean, were there. There was no Rebecca. It is Rebecca, isn't it? Yes. They weren't. Rebecca wasn't involved, so it was just kind of Sean and another in Unity. And it's like, oh, we've hacked into your games console, your Abstergo Animus thingy, what's it, which is just the games the games console from Abstergo, and to show you the real history. I don't know how you're getting that off a bit of software, but I think that's kind of, in some ways, it was one of the interesting things about Assassin's Creed, in that it kept everything connected as a logical series. And all of a sudden that's kind of collapsed. And other than the name, there's not really much connecting the Assassin's Creed games anymore. I will play some more of these because I think that's quite, in their own way, they are quite fun. They're very different to the original Assassin's Creed style. Do you really need this many people? So much stuff going on in here in credits. Really long. I'm just surprised there's that many people involved in this. But where was I going? Yeah, so it's very different. In that the standard ones are very much open world. Certainly Unity was open world. 4 to an extent was open world, but each, like, going into the ports was a separate thing, and I think that kind of gave it a bit of a break. I am, to an extent, I'm looking forward to Syndicate, like, once I've done all of these, but I'm kind of dreading what the open world's going to be like, and I think that's a really good thing about this, and I'm kind of, in some ways, disappointed that they've not tried to branch out with other things. From the kind of just random open world, the kind of large open world, loads of side quests, loads of busyness, loads of busy work, kind of model, which, I mean, looking at reviews is what Syndicate, Origins, and Odyssey all seem to be. I've not played any of those, so I don't know, but it does seem to be like that, and it would be, I know I've kind of had frustrations with this game, but it'd be really nice just to have the odd game that's something different, that is a bit of fresh air to the series. Just stop kind of people getting burned out on the series, which could well happen. And I realise that I probably should have stuck. My gut when this started was, oh yeah, we'll skip this because it'll probably be the same for the other games. And then I can talk about it all in one blow. But to be fair, I think it's quite good just to talk about this game as well. And as I mentioned, the art's been good, the music's been good. I like Xiao Jun. I think she was in, what was the film? It was like Embers or something, where Ezio does some last bit of training and then dies. And I think it would have been good to have a little bit more of that. Like, maybe that be kind of, maybe have an opening tutorial rather than the odd bit of training coming in, and also kind of allow Ezio to come back in a bigger role than just flashbacks of training. But I think that's kind of nitpicky, and I know that's what I do, as I nitpick. It has been fun, although frustrating at times, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next few games. I think. And I think I'll actually stop talking because I've run out of ideas. So I will let the rest of the credits run out. And I will see you in the next game, which might be India or it might not. I might do something else first. I don't know. I haven't really decided. But it might be good just to kind of continue on with it. But we will see. We will see what happens next time in whatever game I pick. It'll be a surprise for us all. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Mentor, the Emperor is dead.
The elixir of life?
Yes. It killed him, as you had planned.
His son will follow in his footsteps. The war will protect the people now, and so shall we.
Mentor, last time we talked, you were telling me about Master Auditore's precursor box.
Ah, Ezio's great gift to me. Yes, I never discovered what the box could do. Yet the artifact, and my obsession with it, taught me a great lesson. Perhaps the greatest of lessons.
What was that, Mentor?
She who seeks revenge should remember to dig 2 graves.